a holiday that is uniquely religious. Here we have no problem saying this is where the Sharia says, no. We do not celebrate Diwali. We do not celebrate a festival to another god. And we do not celebrate Christmas as Muslims. We do not institute those celebrations. We don't bring the tree into our house and hang, we don't do that. It's not our religion to do that. That's what they do. We have ours. So clearly that's religious celebrations, it is haram. Maybe in 50 years, Christmas might become another category. That's what I'm saying. When it does, then the ruling will be based upon that. If a time comes when Christmas no longer has anything to do with the birth of Jesus Christ, just like the Mehndi no longer celebrates the sun. Our sisters did not even know until I said to them that this is celebrating the sun god. Didn't even know it. And I know some of them are going to feel guilty when they do it, but they don't need to feel guilty. Nothing to feel guilty about. It's no big deal. So if Christmas were to leave all Christian connotations, and it seems like that's heading that way, then at that time the verdict will be different for Christmas. And in the interim, there's going to be a gray area that we're currently seeing. You attending the celebration, you witnessing the celebration. This is much more easier because you are not doing it, you are seeing it. And attending, so we're talking about now only religious, because we already said personal, private, nothing of the Sharia. Going to birthday parties, nothing wrong with this. Nothing, the Sharia has nothing to do with that. Unless the haram is going on there, then it's to do with the haram, not with the birthday party. So we're talking about attending religious festivals. Now, there are a number of athar of the tabi'un and the salaf that discouraged attending festivals. And they even interpreted a verse of the Quran, وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَشْهَدُونَ الزُّورَ. They don't attend religious festivals. And there's no question that Muslims should not be going to holy sites and participating in rituals of other faith traditions. There is no question about this. We do not go to the Ganges River. Disgusting, things happen there, as we know. They burn bodies and they leave them there. It's filth for us, najis, and that thing is not very clean. We do not go and dip ourselves thinking it's going to be holy, do we? We don't do that, okay? We don't go to a temple and give puja to the gods. A'udhu billah. So to go on their holy day, of course, it's not going to be something we do. So that's very clear. We do not go to the festival locations. However, how about going to family festivals that are meant to be reminiscent of the religious one? Going to a church on Christmas to celebrate, the festival religiously is not the same as going to a family's house that is having a family event, okay? Not the same thing. How about going to that family event? There is no question that Muslims should not institute these festivals in their houses. We said this. And generally speaking, we should avoid these types of festivals even on a private scale because they are primarily religious still. But a number of our scholars, and this is Amja, which is a very conservative body, have also said that if a convert wants to attend the festival of their family on that day, their ruling is not the ruling of the Muslim born and raised here and he's making a Christmas in his house. Big difference between the two. A convert, that's the one day of the year their whole family comes together, right? Your second cousin and your third aunt twice removed and your Matilda aunt, whatever they come, that's the one day of the year. They're all going to come from across the country and they're going to sit together and you're the only Muslim. What a great opportunity to be yourself and show them who you are. It is foolish to forbid a convert to go to their family's festival, but with the condition that they don't participate in what? In the actual ritual. And the fatwa is from Amjad and many bodies that the convert can go to their personal. How about office festivals? Office festivals are not religious, even if they occur around religious holidays. And everybody who works in an office knows this. Only some ulama who have never worked in corporate America think otherwise. Brutally honest, I'm just being. Anybody who works in the real world knows that festivals at Christmas time in your office have nothing to do with Christmas. Even if the icons are there, but Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, atheists, agnostics, it is a festival of the office. It's not worshipping Jesus Christ. So there's nothing wrong with you being in that environment, and there are no rituals. It's not even allowed in America for them to have rituals on the employees over there. You can actually, cause them into trouble. So no problem being a part of a generic festival that happens to coincide with their one that is not religious. Is that clear? Imam Ahmad, very strict alim generally speaking, great scholar, said, and this is in the book of Khalal via the Muhanna, about witnessing Christian celebrations by going to the bazaar. There's a Christian celebration going on, the bazaar is a festive place, there's going to be, things going on, whatever you can imagine, jugglers, whatever, going and witnessing. Imam Ahmad said, if they're in the bazaar and they don't go to the church, I don't see a problem with that. This is Imam Ahmad. Fireworks on the 4th of July, not even religion. Nothing wrong with that, okay? We are walking in the bazaar and the Macy's parade is going on the 25th, or they have the tree, and you say, oh, just the tree and the light, you're just looking at it. Nothing wrong with that per se. You're just seeing it. You're not being a part of the ritual. In fact, we can even say, therefore, there's nothing wrong with taking advantage of Christmas sales. No problem. Islamically, there's no problem. And Imam Ahmad was asked about this. You can buy. Ibn Taymiyyah said you can buy on their holy days. Ibn Taymiyyah was a bit strict. He said don't sell to them on their holy days, because he was, in his mind, he was saying if you sell, they're going to use it in their shirk. But in these days, who does that anymore? So anyway, that was his fatwa in this regard. Congratulating them on their celebrations. There's nothing explicit from the Quran and Sunnah or any of the four Imams that allows or forbids congratulating them on their celebrations. Ibn al-Qayyim, in his famous book Ahkam Ahl al-Dhimma, he has a very harsh comment in which he says that, and he's against this, he says that to congratulate them for their celebrations is worse than congratulating them for drinking or congratulating them for committing murder. Because he views it as shirk, their celebration. So if you're congratulating them for their shirk, then you are congratulating them for a sin that is worse than drinking and murder. Okay. Now this is what Ibn al-Qayyim wrote. A few years ago, some adolescent simpleton neophyte on YouTube, these overzealous youngsters, he's in his fiery voice, he said, Ibn al-Qayyim says that what did he say? Saying Merry Christmas is worse than murder. And that YouTube clip went viral across the internet. And like it's this, Ibn Qayyim and Taymiyyah, their own followers have done more damage to them than anything they themselves have ever done. Their own followers are just so in their own bubble and whatnot. Ibn al-Qayyim did not say that. Ibn al-Qayyim wrote a very precise, and I actually had to clarify and explain that to defend Ibn al-Qayyim, even if I politely disagree with Ibn al-Qayyim, but Ibn al-Qayyim is very academic. He did not say saying Merry Christmas is worse than murder. He said congratulating them for their holy days is worse than congratulating them for khamr and murder. There's a big difference between the two, right? And this neophyte just literally, anyway, so you know my, anyway, so where was I? So Ibn al-Qayyim definitely says you should not congratulate them for their, and I understand, it makes sense. Listen to the logic, it's very straightforward. They say that believing in another God is shirk, is paganism. It's the worst of all sins. And what is a holy day other than venerating that other God, whatever that God might be? Hence, they say, to congratulate them on their festival is essentially congratulating them on their belief in another God and worshipping another God. So it is a logically constructed argument. It's not far left field. And we respect that argument. We say, okay, you have made a valid point. Do realize that it is one opinion. And there are many scholars who basically agree with the first bit, which is to celebrate, to worship another God is shirk. And they agree with the second bit, to celebrate that God is also wrong. But they disagree with the third bit, which is to wish somebody a good celebration does not mean that you are endorsing the first two. You see, this is where the disconnect comes, right? And this is the standard fatwa from most of our scholars outside of that one school of thought. Scholars from Azhar, from Jordan, from many of the other, and even I know for a fact within the Deobandi tradition as well, there are two schools within this, and some of the Deobandis allow it and some of them don't allow it as well. And one of the things that they mention is that it is well known in multicultural settings that non-Muslims wish us happy Eids as well. And they don't think that their Christianity is compromised when they say happy Eid to us. They understand that wishing somebody happy Eid doesn't mean that they're now all of a sudden Muslim. It's just a generic statement that they say. And they also quote, the scholars that allow this, they quote from the Salaf and from Imam Ahmad and others who basically said that it is allowed to wish for something good for the kafir in this world. May you have good life, may you have good children. So they make a generic dua, it's halal. So they say if it's allowed to make a generic dua any day, why can't you say it on the day that they're extra happy? You see, they just make an argument like this. And they also say, Allah says in the Quran, when somebody greets you, then you should greet back the same or better. So if somebody says happy Eid to you, on your Eid day, why shouldn't you also wish them, a happy, holy, whatever day that they have? Now, and that's a good argument to make. I will say, without deciding which one is right and wrong, let's get out of the khilaf. And instead of saying Merry Christmas, even though I'm not saying it is haram and I'm not saying it is halal, I'm just silent about that right now. But instead of saying Merry Christmas, why don't we get out of the khilaf and use a generic greeting? Use a generic greeting. May God bless you. Okay? Happy holiday, good day to you, whatever, it's a generic greeting. Just use a generic greeting so that you get out of the khilaf of group one. Okay? Because look, I'm going to be honest, it is a logical argument. It's not coming out of, again, nowhere. It's a logical argument. Why would you wish a particular holy day? Just be generic. Happy season or whatever, you get my point. You're just a generic greeting. And you get out of the khilaf. And, it reminds me of something Ibn Abbas said. Ibn Abbas, he said, if Fir'aun said to me, Barakallahu feek, I would say, Wa barakallahu feek. If Fir'aun said to me, may Allah bless you, I would make dua, may Allah bless. Why shouldn't I make dua for somebody? Why shouldn't I Make some positive statement for him. May Allah bless you. Okay? So if somebody wishes you something, and you say yes, and God bless you. And for us, God bless you is good because God bless you with everything, including hidayah. God bless you, bismillah, Make a dua. God bless you. Yes, God bless you with good health, good life, with guidance, everything. God bless you. What's the problem with that? There should not be any problem whatsoever. So the third thing we said is to greetings, and we said, I'm not saying haram, I'm not saying halal, I'm just saying get out and just say, generic. Accepting gifts because of the celebration. Accepting gifts because of the celebration. Your neighbor gifts you on Christmas. Okay? Can you accept that gift or not? Ali radiallahu an, Ali, the famous Ali radiallahu an, was living in Kufa. And Kufa was a land of Zoroastrians at that time. Muslims have come. And one day, he was gifted something. In the Arabic book, it is called faludaj. All the Desis know what faludaj is. But your faludaj is not their faludaj. They didn't have vanilla ice cream in their faludaj. Okay? Tutti frutti, okay? So, he was gifted something called faludaj, and he had never gotten it before. It was a mixture of it was a faludaj 1,400 years old. So go back. Our modern faludaj is generated from that. Okay? The Arabs have no idea faludaj, right? You guys don't know where the Arabs have no idea, right? Okay, this is in the books of Arabic hadith. He was gifted faludaj. Faludaj is still in our cultures. Okay, it's a very nice sweet, but in our time, it is ice cream and other things mixed up. But of course, back then it was different. He loved it, mashallah, tabarakallah. So he said, what is the occasion? Why am I gifted this faludaj? They said, it is Nowruz for us. Ali radiallahu anhu, man of my heart, he said, may every day be your Nowruz. What does this show? He liked faludaj, yes. What's the problem in getting gifts on their day? This is Ali radiallahu anhu. May every day be faludaj. Let me get some more, okay? Someone came to Aisha radiallahu anha, our mother, and she said, we have some Zoroastrian neighbors, and they gift us on their Eid. Can we accept their gifts? Aisha said, anything they sacrificed on that day, do not eat. But you may eat of their fruits and their plants. Now, why can you not eat the sacrifice of Zoroastrians? Because they're not Ahl Kitab. Not because it is holiday. Because she said, eat of the others, right? Laddu bhejan khalo, koi baat nahi, bismillah. Okay? The Hindu sends the laddu, eat the laddu. Eat the laddu. That's exactly what the athar is. Exactly what the athar is. Right? The Zoroastrian is sending on his holy day food. Aisha said, if there's meat, this is Zoroastrian. But anything else on the plate, go ahead and eat it. Right? And of course, the point is that meat is not halal for us to eat. And so that's like that. Abu Burza as well, he would say the same thing. He was living among the Sahabi Abu Burza al-Aslami. He was living amongst the Zoroastrians. I mean, like when Islam was conquering Persia. And he told his family as well on the day of Nowruz that anything that comes of meat, do not eat. But anything else, you may eat of it. So the same ruling. Coming on Nowruz, but you may eat of it. Therefore, anything that they gift us on that day that's generically halal, we may take it. And the generic rule, when we are gifted, we gift back. So if we give back on our Eid, or even if it's the same day, in and of itself, there should be no problem. And especially if it's in an office environment, which isn't even a ritual. A lot of you ask me about the office gift. It's not even a ritual, aslan. No big deal.